Hello, this is Brigham, or you might know me as Necro Mega King. I just wanted to do a brief introduction to this series entitled Blood in the Night. It is a D&D campaign with a pair of my friends. Kind of experimental, just seeing if it's something that people would enjoy listening to. We've talked about developing an audience before. So basically it's us just playing D&D, but we recorded it. Maybe one day there might be an accentuated level of professionalism to it. But at the current point, it's just us playing D&D. So occasionally there's tangents and diatribes. I don't know if I even know what that word means. But yeah, so I enjoy playing D&D, so maybe someone would enjoy listening to it. Anyways, this is Blood in the Night. Alright, so the two of you, Refet and Wilma, are those names that I'm actually going to be able to, pronounce?
I mean, you said mine fine.
First try?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, what a marvel. You have been on the road for several days, headed towards Bainching, and you've come from Tikshai. It is middle of winter, so you've kind of gone through the snowy roads in between the leafless forests. And have gotten to know each other a little bit on the road. Just sort of brief details, but have mostly been focusing on traveling towards your destination. You suspect you're probably close to Bainching when you come across a disturbance in the road. Around the bend of the road, you see a wagon that is just kind of parked right in the middle. On one side of the road, there is a sort of raised portion of earth that goes up probably about 10 feet. And there's trees up there too, and there's trees down here. And the road kind of curves along this sort of cliff. Cliff doesn't seem like the right word because it's not super tall, but and so the snow is sort of lightly falling around you as you kind of stop at a distance to see this, and you know that probably by the time night falls, you should be in Bainching. There's just sort of this wagon. You don't see any horse attached to it or anything that's out in the middle of the road.
We do not see. Do we see signs that people had recently been around it? If you said it was snowing, are there footprints?
Uh, Make a perception check.
Let's see. 17.
Alright, so yeah, looking closely, there seems to have been a fair amount of movement around it. It looks like that there had been like a horse attached to the front of the wagon, but it had been, you think it was drug dragged off.
Drug drag.
So there's a sort of large impression that goes across the snow. You also see smatters of blood on and around the wagon. There's a bit of snow that's sort of gathered or accumulated on top of the wagon, so it probably hasn't moved for a little while. And you see what looks like darkly fletched arrows that are sort of piercing the cart, and there's like a couple that are broken off in the snow. And also with that, you probably notice a bit of movement on top of that cliff.
Oh. Is the cliff above the wagon, or is the wagon on the top of the cliff?
The wagon's beneath the cliff, so the road
okay,
kind of follows the cliff
Yeah,
from the underside. Yeah,
I understand. Does the movement that you described, it look like something pulling away from the edge of the cliff, as if it were hiding? Or is it just...
Yeah, it looks like something's stealthing up there.
Wilma will...
It looks like someone who rolled less than a 17 on their stealth check. That's what it is. Exactly what it looked like.
Oh boy. Wilma will kind of quickly and quietly hold out an arm in front of Rafet, and put a finger up to her mouth, and motion for Rafet to... actually, are there any trees or rocks that would be good to get behind, kind of a hiding position?
So there is a lot of forest in this area. So there's trees on both sides of the road currently,
Okay.
both on top of the cliff and also on the side of the road that is not on the cliff. So there's plenty of stuff to get behind if you want.
Yeah. Wilma will motion for Rafet to follow her as Wilma kind of quickly moves towards one of these trees. And once they're kind of in some sort of cover, Wilma would say, Rafet, did you see that?
I think I did.
Something happened to that cart, and I saw some movement up top. I think whoever did that may still be around.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
I think so.
All right then. And like Rafet is like readying her warhammer.
Can two of you, you're kind of just like sort of hiding for a brief second in the woods. Did you just make stealth checks real quick?
50. 50.
19 plus... Actually, shoot, I get disadvantage on stealth checks from wearing chainmail, don't I?
Oh, that's right.
Are you both wearing
15!
chainmail?
Yes. I rolled a nat 20 the second time.
14.
Alright. So you kind of sequester yourselves. You're not sure if you've really... if the hiding figure had already noticed you, or if they were just sort of shifting. So you believe you're well hidden. I'm forgetting the order of operations here. You guys have been on the road together, but I don't know if you guys have like officially described your characters to one another or to me. So if we want to take a brief minute before you start doing crap.
It's just two blobs doing all of this.
It's just it's like the video game NPCs where they all look the same.
Beautiful.
We're now hitting the character creation screen.
Yeah. Man, imagine a game where the character creation screen happens after you've already done
You can
stuff.
tell we're an indie game, right?
Yeah.
I guess I can go first with Wilma.
Yeah.
So, um, Wilma Braum is a 5'9", 25-year-old human woman who is currently wearing some fairly heavy kind of chainmail that is mostly different shades of black, purple, and highlights of white. Um, but underneath, she is a somewhat muscular, kind of get the sense that she did a fair amount of heavy lifting and around either a farm or just kind of a outdoorsy sort of work um, for her build. She has dark purple hair that is long but pulled up um, almost in a ponytail. Again, it kind of falls back behind her, and then she kind of loosely grabs probably the last foot or so of hair and has tied it up just so it doesn't get in the way when she is swinging her weapon. Um, and her hair has kind of very light pinkish purple streaks that sparkle kind of like a twilight sky. Um, Her eyes are a darker, a little bit more vibrant purple with crescent moon shapes glowing in them. Those crescent moons being kind of a typical creamy white. Um, and again, she has her black chainmail with shades of purple and highlights of white. Um, and Rafet, you have also seen whenever you are bedding down for the night, or if we've been in a any sort of village, town, city together, you would know that she often will remove the armor and end up wearing purple and black robes that almost look like a very heavy nightgown of sorts. And she wields a fairly large battle axe that has either blade on either side of the pole, is a creamy white and shaped and stylized, kind of to look like crescent moons. And she also bears a shield that has a large crescent moon with a few stars off to the side, embedded in the middle.
Okay. So then Rafet's description, and
I thought you just said you're fat.
no.
So you're fat. Anyways.
No, Rafet, who, for, I guess, simplicity's sake, her full name is Rafet de Gagny, so people know how to pronounce her last name.
I'm never gonna try to pronounce that. I'm gonna be honest.
It's so easy. It's Gagny.
No, it's. I didn't take French.
It's not like
I did,
it's not like your dad spoke French or whatever.
Yeah, he does.
So, Rafet is a 6-foot woman with a lean physique, but a lot of her upper body is like particularly muscular. She wears a dark gray chainmail over simple black robes and baggy dark pink pants that cinch just before her ankles. Not that this is super noticeable with like her boots and everything. She has a dark gray veil that covers all of her face. The front, it goes down, like covering her neck, and then on the back it like goes like down to like the end of her spine. And the ends are like really like tapered and raggedy, and so like whenever you like catch her in the wind, the ends kind of move in like a ghostly type of way. And then at the temples of her head are 2 golden wings, purely decorative, that are curved upward, helping to keep the veil in place.
All right, beautiful. So, what's your guys' plan?
Well, Wilma has kind of brandished that battle axe, and has made sure she has her shield strapped to her arm. Um, I think we could carefully check out the cart. Whoever was up there may have noticed us before we noticed them as they were moving away from the edge. And I don't know how we're going to get up there fast enough to catch up with them, so perhaps we should first look for clues as to what went on.
I guess we can. It's a bit spooky if I'm being honest here.
I don't know if I would say spooky, but I think we should certainly be on guard if whoever did this has not left. If you didn't see, there is blood on the snow, there are arrows in the cart.
And you're telling me that's not spooky?
Again, spooky would perhaps not be the way that I would put it, but...
Yeah?
Well, I guess I don't have another word. Anyway, let's not dwell on that. Shall I lead or you?
After you.
Alright, and Wilma will begin walking kind of slowly and cautiously towards the cart, keeping an eye out, trying not to make super sudden movements, trying to see if anything looks like it's kind of darting between trees. She'll definitely be keeping an eye up at the top of the cliff, and then of course keeping an eye on the cart.
Now, are you trying to sort of screen your movements so that you aren't detected from if something's on top of the cliff? Or are you just trying to, in the open, kind of slowly move towards the cart?
Yeah, I think Wilma's going slow so as to, like, not make a lot of noise, but she knows she's not the most stealthy, especially being in full chainmail.
I mean, contrary to the rules so far. So you kind of get out from behind your cover that you have, the trees, and start cautiously moving towards the cart. It's probably when you're probably about 10 feet away from it that you see movement up there. There is a... and are you following
Yes.
Raphat? Alright. So there is a bit of movement as you see a figure. They seem to be wearing some kind of camouflage, so you didn't initially catch them. But as they move and draw back a bow, they become incredibly visible. It's just that kind of like you're looking at the woods and then all of a sudden a figure that you thought was part of a tree or whatever just sort of puts an arrow into their bow and prepares to fire. So we'll roll initiative.
Oh god.
It's a clean 10.
Hey, first natural 20.
I mean, Victoria got one before you, but it didn't count.
Oh. Oh, right. Oh well, that's fine. First usable natural 20.
First effective natural 20.
Thank you.
I need to get out my player killing dice.
Ooh.
No.
This is a one episode podcast, y'all.
This is a one episode podcast. It's just a bunch of one shots. That's all this podcast.
A series of vignettes. I actually really like that idea.
No, that's a terrible
That's not
idea.
a terrible idea.
I wouldn't do well under that kind of pressure. All right. So Wilma, you're gonna go first.
All right. Seeing that this figure has now moved, what do they
You
look
can actually
like?
see a couple of figures that are
Alright.
also starting to move. You think there's about 4 of them up there. They are these sort of large, hulking figures. Their arms are a bit extended. Is that the right word? They seem a little big for their torsos, and they have these very long faces with these jutting jaws, and you can see tusks coming from their lower jaw.
Do I recognize?
You
what
believe they're
they are?
orcs, yeah.
Oh, real quick.
Alright.
The layout is that they're like above us, right? They're on that like ledge. Okay.
Yeah, they're about 10 feet
Okay.
up. So Wilma, you go first. You're probably about 20 feet away from them, horizontally. I'm not going to do Pythagorean's theorem right now to figure out. Yeah. Sorry, it's not happening.
How close together are they all?
There's probably about 10 feet in between each of them, so they're not like all right next to each other.
But they're not like super spread out.
They're not super spread out. Yeah, they're definitely coordinated.
Yes. I just need to double check the description of a spell.
Of a
Not
spell.
description. I need to double check upcasting a spell and if it does anything. Yes, it does. Okay. Do I think I could get them all within a 20 radius sphere? Or circle sphere. Or, yeah, within 20 feet of a point.
Yeah, you could hit them all.
Ooh.
Okay. Then, Wilma will, raise her axe, and, will call out a holy word, and I don't think Rafet would probably notice, but underneath her hair, kind of on her backside, it looks like the very base of her neck kind of glows a purplish light. And I am casting Sleep at the 3rd level.
Okay.
I forgot to actually put down how many spell slots I have, but I believe I've got 2 3rd level spell slots right now. Yes. 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2. But yes, so that means overpowering. Each level I overpower, I get 2 extra d8 added on. So I'm going to get 4 d8. I'm going to get 4d8 added to the base 5d8, so I will roll 9d8 HP for HP.
Oh my goodness.
And alright, let's see. D8. D8, D8. And D8. Woo! Holy crap. Wow, an even 50 points of HP. And that will affect them in ascending order of current HP.
Yep.
And I
It's
swear
really
to
easy
God,
because
if
they
none of them
all
fall
have the same
asleep,
hit points. So.
good. If not a single one of these guys falls asleep, I'm gonna be a little sad.
They've had a lot of coffee.
They are actually part.
And they call it the devil's juice here.
Yeah. It's actually evil here. It's a sin. Partake. Alright, so as you release this spell, you see 3 of these archers just kind of slump over. A couple of them hit the ground. One of them just kind of leans against a tree, and you hear this just really obnoxious, loud snoring start to just, and the one left is a little confused, but they'll. Do you have anything else you want to do?
Wilma was going to call out to Rafet. All right, now it is your turn. Those 3 shall be out for now.
Man, you can do all the work
Yeah.
here.
Just sit back, put down a beach chair in the snow. Okay, so do either of you speak Nash?
No.
I think it's Nash. That or Grumble Tongue. I don't remember.
Either way, no.
No, I speak Stellari, Elvish,
okay.
and Quibbish.
So you hear the remaining orc shout something as they release an arrow. They're going to shoot you, Wilma, because clearly you're the greater threat at the moment.
No.
And they're going to roll a 9, so that's not going to hit you.
No, I hold up my shield and block the arrow.
Yeah, it just sort of sticks in a little twang.
Pretty calmly, nice and casually.
Yeah, that's when you hear footsteps from behind you.
Oh.
On the other side of the road, you see emerging from the woods 4 more orcs. These ones are wielding axes, sort of these big gnarly stone axes, and following their leader's commands, they charge at you. They'll all attack Wilma because she's the clear threat.
No, it doesn't work like that.
No, they're not playing that way. So it's a 19 to hit you, Rafet.
And it hits.
And that's a natural 20.
Oh,
man,
my.
I mean, we just played last night, and I rolled like 3 crits last
You
night.
really weren't kidding about your killing players' dice.
My, it's the same dice I've been using. I don't know what's up with them today. That's a 13 to hit you, Wilma.
That does not hit.
And what about a 15?
That also does not hit.
Okay. So Wilma also can't be hit because does all the work, can't be hit. Rafet just gets stabbed.
Wilma's used to doing all the work by herself. She's
okay.
not actually so used to having a battle buddy.
Obviously, I'm just a
Alright.
party gal. Can't contribute nothing here.
Yeah, you're just a hangout.
I'm here to vibe and make friends.
You're only here for the beer.
For the lager.
You're going to take 4 slashing damage from one of these orcs as they just sort of catch you on the backside with their axe. And the other one is going to hurt more.
Why?
That is going to be... I have no idea what your guys' maximum hit points
That's
are.
fascinating. This is going to be a fun time.
That's going to be 15 points of slashing damage.
Ouch!
That's the crit.
I am almost halfway down.
Yeah. So, as you guys are focusing at the ridge above, these other orcs come rushing out. They're not really like making any war cries or anything, but they just come in and rush you and start hacking at you with their axes. And it's your turn to retaliate.
Okay, so some of them have come down and are like on our level.
So there's the 4 archers up there, and 3 of them are
Okay.
asleep. And then there's 4 that were hiding in the woods
Mm-hmm.
behind you. And so they're at your level, and they've got axes, and they're up in your
Okay,
grill.
and what's my distance to like all the orcs and then also Wilma?
Okay, so you're probably 5 feet from
Okay.
Wilma. You've got 3 to 4 orcs within 5 feet of you they're just kind of pounced on you with their axes and are trying to bring you down real quick. And the others are 20 feet horizontally, 10 feet up, sort of spread out along the ridge.
Most of them on the ground.
They're sleeping.
Okay.
So you have a whole bunch right next to you.
Okay. So I'm 5 feet from Wilma and I'm 5 feet from the other orcs. So could I move 5 feet to like, literally get up in all of the other orcs' grills and then be 5 more feet away from Wilma, making us 10 feet apart?
Yeah, you can spread out a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I do that, so I'm at least more than 5 feet away from Wilma, and then I will use my cantrip Thunderclap, which has a radius of 5 foot.
Okay. Oh, all right. So you'll catch. Since you kind of separated from Wilma a little bit, you'll catch 3 of them in that.
Okay.
All right. Do they have to make a save for that?
It does not mention anything about a save. Oh, Constitution save. There we go. There we go.
are.
Spells have saves.
Spells have saves. Yeah, they have those things. That's an 18 for one of them. That's a 4 for another. And holy cow, I rolled 2 ones in a row. That's another 4.
All right. Well, the first one will take half damage.
So 2 of them fail. Is it half damage for
I don't know. You tell me.
What? You have the spell.
I believe it's a save or suck.
Okay. Sounds good to me. So, he's saved.
I have to look up the spell now. Okay. So there's this loud, thunderous clap. Yeah, it doesn't take any damage if they save, and it's 2d6.
Yes.
Thunder
Yep.
damage.
They'll take eight damage.
All right.
And then, as a reaction, I'm gonna use one of my first level spell slots and cast Shield on myself.
So you can wait to do that if you want.
Yeah,
You don't
I
have
think
to do it immediately.
a shield is a reaction.
It
I
is a
believe,
reaction.
because it only lasts. It only lasts for like a
Yeah,
turn.
exactly.
I think it's a reaction to an
Okay.
attack,
Yeah.
specifically. So you can wait until they start attacking.
Okay.
You too.
So when they come after me, I shall cast Shield.
Yeah.
But otherwise, that will be my turn.
Okay. So Wilma, it is back to you.
Wonderful.
Brag about it.
Seeing that Rafet has taken some hits, Wilma will again speak a holy word, and a dark kind of veil that coalesces into a black translucent shield that kind of begins to swirl around Rafet, forms as I cast Shield of Faith as a bonus action. And so Rafet, you will gain +2 to your AC for as long as I keep concentration for the next 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then with my action, Wilma then brandishes her axe and is going to slash at one of the orcs that attempted to attack me last round. Probably the one that did not get hit by the thunderclap.
So of the 2 that attacked you, neither of them got hit by the thunderclap.
Neither of them. I thought there were 4 here, and I thought 3 got. Oh,
One of them saved.
One of them saved. Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit the one that like didn't even have to save.
All right.
So let's see. Man, I'm loving my dice tonight.
Until they betray you.
No. Never.
All dice do.
Never would they. That's a 23 to hit.
Oh yeah.
And that will be 4 slashing damage. As I hack into one of these things.
Yeah. It kind of grunts in pain as its dark red blood just kind of spills onto the snow. The other two that got hit by the thunderclap are kind of stumble back and then prepare to lunge in again. The archer up top, you don't know what they're doing. They kind of disappear, like they got down on their hands and knees. And you hear like you hear the sound of someone who's being disturbed out of their sleep, essentially. Yeah. So you hear kind of like, you know, noise from somewhere up there. And these orcs continue to try to tear into you. Would a 17 hit you, Wilma?
Nope.
Ah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I hope a 23 does.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
My AC's an 18.
All right.
No, keep him guessing.
And then there's a 21 to hit you,
Yeah.
Rafa.
Wait. My shield.
Shield of
Okay.
Faith doesn't protect you unless you are.
No, but
casting.
she's...
No, because I casted
she's
shield.
got... So Shield of Faith, you can cast it now, yeah. So...
It's a reaction.
Your AC normally
16.
is what?
So
16. So Shield of Faith
and
adds
then plus
2,
5.
right? Yeah, so that
Haha.
would hit. And then that next one won't hit either. So, as these two bring their axes down on you, you just kind of conjure this magical shield to deflect them. We'll get some slashing damage for Wilma. Don't roll a lot of d12s, but they are fun. So it's going to be 13 points of slashing damage.
Holy.
Rolled a 10.
Yikes.
You're not allowed to roll well, Brigham.
I am.
I'm
It's
supposed to be.
My main job is the DM.
Oh, where was that yesterday?
Okay, you know what? And so as they sort of tear into you and spill your blood upon the ground, and there's the sound of sort of the clashing of metal and stone, sort of impacts. You hear my dog growl. She's upset.
Easy, girl.
Yeah. No, you hear the sounds of it's kind of like a distant babble of sorts. Almost like there's like a concert going on in some regards, like far away, and you can just hear like the dull noises of the crowd, sort of. And you immediately see all the orcs kind of look spooked. And looking towards the trees, you see not on the cliffside, on the right side of the road, where there's where it's the same level as you. You see this sort of darken. Looks kind of like a figure wearing almost like a cloak that is made completely of tatters that's just whipping around it, and is kind of coming through the trees in your direction. Effet, it's your turn.
Okay then. The orc closest to me. I'm gonna whack him with my warhammer.
All right. Bonk.
Nope. That's an 8.
Is that a total of 8, or is that
Well,
just...
I guess the first hit is an 8. Second hit is an 18.
Okay. 18 hits.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm holding my warhammer with 2 hands, so it's gonna be a d10. 1. It was the softest bonk you ever did hear.
So what's the total on that?
You know what? I did forget to do stuff, huh? I think.
Did you not fill out such things on your character
You
sheet?
should have.
So it's 1 plus
It's
your
4.
strength.
I had to remember. It's 4. You double-checked my thing and did not tell me.
Did
Well,
I?
I sent it to you.
I don't remember opening it.
Brigham. Brigham.
So that one's actually looking pretty hurt. After that thunderclap, and now that you've just sort of smacked him, you hear the sound of a bone breaking as you land a good hit. Probably a couple ribs that have popped out. But yeah, they're not looking good. And is there anything else you'd like to do?
Nope.
All right. Wilma, it is your turn.
Do I recognize what is... are they walking or floating? The figure.
It's just sort of a figure going through the trees. Let me see. I wrote down what kind of check this would be, but I don't remember where I wrote it down. Yeah, I feel like that would be important.
A wee bit.
It's a knowledge check of some kind. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Religion, history, nature?
I think it's religion. There's... I wrote it down in the wrong place. It's always dangerous to do that. Yeah, religion.
Darn. Oh wait, no.
What'd you get?
Sorry, I actually have the same bonus for religion and history. I got a 21.
Alright. So your initial reaction is this is some kind of incorporeal creature. But it's sort of dark, because a lot of incorporeal creatures are sort of translucent.
Mm-hmm.
But this one seems to be made out of like a shadow. You believe it to be a creature known as an alib.
Alib. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Andrew's right.
But they're known for... They're sort of these cursed creatures whose bodies were obliterated due to some sort of curse.
Mm-hmm.
And the curse is tied to particular kinds of information. So they learn something, and there's a curse tied to it, or whether it's where they learned it or how they learned it. And it blew apart their body, and now they're just sort of these insane creatures that are attempting to share their secret, but can't.
Mm. And do I know them to typically be hostile?
Yeah.
Okay.
Love that.
They're undead. They fall into the hostile category very easily.
Love that.
Undead. Well, if they are undead, then let's see, paladin. All right. So I would like to use my channel divinity to turn undead.
Okay.
And so, Wilma, seeing that coming, and probably, quite frankly, thinking of it to be a bit more of a potential threat, she will hold up her battle axe again, and kind of the back of her neck will glow brightly as her axe glows a radiant purple light. And she says, uh, "Being of the darkness, flee here and do not return." And it needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
That is a 7.
Then it fails. So a turned creature must... so it'll be turned for a minute or until it takes any damage, and a turned creature must spend its turns trying to move as far away from you as it can, and it can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of you. It also cannot take reactions, and for its action it can only use the dash action or try to escape from an effect that prevents it from moving. If nowhere to go, the creature uses the dodge action.
Alright. So, as this sort of shadowy figure begins to come into your view through the trees, it quickly begins to recede and vanish. And the orcs all seem very relieved at this idea.
Very relieved, and then immediately go back to slashing us.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what happens. They're like, oh, thank goodness, we don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Here, we're gonna thank you.
Here's my thanks. And yeah, that is all I'm going to do.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I assume a 22 hits you, right, Wilma?
So I don't know if wise medicine has to be, because there's nothing that specifies whether it is before or after I know an attack.
So you can use it after. Yeah.
Okay. I would like to use my reaction to kind of anticipating, I've just kind of drove off the undead, but figuring the orcs probably will continue. I already had my shield in my other hand up in hopes to block in potential incoming attack. And that will be man, I love my dice tonight, 26.
Okay.
Which becomes my EC.
Yeah, you prepare yourself well, and both of you manage to fend off both your attackers. You can hear from above the sounds of one of the orcs sort of talking, and one of the orcs down on your level says something back. Sounded like there was a question from above, and there was an answer from where you were.
Mm.
All right. Raphael.
Okay. Raphael.
Raphael!
I'm actually...
I said Raphael.
No, that was me. That was... Okay.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna take my warhammer. And, again, gonna strike the orc closest to me. Sorry, I'm getting to my dice. And that's gonna be 17 to hit.
Yeah,
all right.
It's easy.
And that's gonna be 11 damage.
That's overkill. You slay her.
Oh. I mean, yeah!
Yeah.
And then, I guess, once she sees the body go down and it's not coming back up, she goes to the next closest orc, and she's gonna hit again. And it's gonna be 19 to hit.
That
And
hits.
it'll be 6 damage.
So you bash them and already weakened by the thunderclap. They look like they're on death's door. They're barely holding on. The one of their arms is just sort of busted up and hanging limply at their side, and so they've just barely got a hold onto their big stone axe. All right. Anything else?
Nope. I think she's just, like, very proud of her handiwork.
Yeah, Wilma, did you see that? Just beat the crap out of this guy.
Wilma, look at me.
Look at me, how good I am.
I'm doing the thing.
I'm so proud.
Thank you, Wilma. It means so much.
My parents never told me they loved me. Anyways,
Oh my gosh.
Wilma, it is your turn.
All right. Seeing that things are slowly being handled down here, Wilma will whirl around and swing her axe as though she was swinging at nothing, but she utters a holy word as she does so, and from her axe, this these shadows kind of wreath out of it, swirling around as they go up the small cliff, and begin to kind of take a more physical looking form as they kind of go next to one of the orcs up above, and it becomes a spiritual battle axe. And I've casted spiritual weapon, and so it will make an attack probably on whichever orc I could see the best. Which I don't know which one that would be, but
The Brigham knows.
Brigham does know. Brigham's being quiet.
Sorry, I was dealing
No,
with
you're
doggo.
fine.
I had a feeling.
I'm gonna have to go through and silence that. I forget, I silenced it on Discord, but
It's not the same thing.
That's not Audacity.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
the same thing. This is something you're going to have to cut out. The same thing will happen when either my brother or family returns, and I will have to move into my room.
Brianna, how did you open your door? I closed it. How are
Okay,
you
I
back
clapped
out?
so you know.
Anyways, so yeah, you can see one of the archers who's just sort of sticking their head up. It looks like they probably just woke up another one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, it shall. Yep, it's going to attack that orc. And let's see.
Some reason when you were asking me about radiuses, I was like, Wilma doesn't know fireball, does she?
No,
I was just expecting just a lava fireball up there, and it's like, well,
Heck yeah.
there goes
For
this
some
encounter.
reason, Raphael just
Yeah.
has this feeling.
Okay, man, my D20's treating me well for this first session. That's a natural 20.
Oh, let's go.
Okay. Yeah, that's crit.
And how are we doing crits?
So it's double damage dice.
Cool. That'll be 2d. But I don't double the add-on modifier, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, that will be 12 points of slashing damage. Or actually, is it? Is it still slashing damage?
No, I think it's like radiant.
Oh, force damage.
Something.
It's force damage.
That's force damage.
Yeah,
Even
okay.
better. So yeah, he just kind of sticks his head up to look up and see what's happening, and then just, you know, he disappears from view.
Oh god.
You hear him say something, like,
Oh
mumble
god.
something.
Do I think I killed him?
No. You think you hit him pretty hard. Yeah.
Okay.
There's like, it has like the snow effect impacts,
Mhm.
right? So when it hits, it just sort of like, you see like a little billow of snow go up over the cliff edge.
Mhm.
You hear the orc say something. He's probably rubbing his head up there. Yeah.
And then as my action, because for some reason spiritual weapon is a bonus action, and it does not take an action for it to, oh wait, when you cast the spell, you can make a melee spell attack against a creature.
That's part of the bonus action, so you can
Okay, cool.
attack with
Then,
your
yep.
action.
Then the guy that I originally slashed just a moment before is still kicking, right?
Yeah. He doesn't really seem that hurt.
Oh, my dice have been treating me so well, and now what have they done? That will be a 7 to hit.
7 will not hit.
Cool.
Their armor is better than that.
Yeah. So I
Thank
kind of bring my
goodness.
axe down and don't quite hit a good
he
enough
manages
chink.
to sidestep.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, these are hardy warriors, so it takes just a little bit more to catch them off guard. As their turn comes around, the one in front of you, Raphael.
Rafet.
Raphael. Why did I say Raphael?
You tell me.
Raphael. I don't know. They are going to disengage, and they look like they're going to run back into the woods the way they came, but they think better of it, and sort of head along the road away from you. That's when the archers pop up and attempt to get you. So that's one of them rolls a 19 to hit you, Wilma.
That does not hit. Oh wait, yes it does. Yes it does. I forgot. I did not cast Shield of Faith on myself. It was on Rafat.
You tell me.
That does hit. That does hit.
I mean, you just got your reaction back, so if you want to attempt to...
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, I forget what the top of the round is. That'll be a non-natural 20.
Okay,
To
so
make
yeah,
my
that is
AC.
enough that you can bring your shield around and catch another arrow.
Yeah. Wilma's done things like this before.
Yeah.
She's a combat veteran.
Yeah, while that's happening, the other two with axes are going to try to clobber you.
No.
And so I believe that... I don't remember how I worded that reaction, but I believe it's for that one creature, right?
The wording, I can give you the exact wording because I copied and pasted it. Yes, it's any attack from one target creature.
Alright. So the axe guys on you are going to roll a 23 and a 24.
Good lord.
Yeah.
It's not allowed.
It is allowed.
Oof.
Let's hope they don't roll too well on damage. So that's going to be 12 slashing.
Uh-oh.
And then you can add another 8 slashing from the other one.
Wilma's now very bloody. Oh.
So, as you protect yourself from the archers, the other two just sort of start
Uh-oh.
hacking at your exposed backside. And then they kind of look at Rafet like, oh wait, there's no one on her. Like, uh-oh. They weren't really thinking too much about that. So it's your turn,
Alright.
Rafet.
I'm obviously gonna help my little comrade.
Wilma's not that short.
5'9".
Technically, I am
It's
taller.
little. Yeah, it's little.
Technically. And I'm gonna rush to her aid, and I'm gonna whack these orcs with my warhammer. So whichever one I get to first, I'm gonna hit them until I'm satisfied. Unless I don't make the hit. The first hit is 12.
You're getting really quiet. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Oh, is this better?
Yeah, that's bad.
Okay. I was
You're just talking into a pillow?
No, I was literally just like maybe 5 more inches away from my mic than I am now. I don't
What
know.
the heck?
Eh.
Okay.
Anyway, first hit to the closest orc is 12.
12 does not hit. It makes contact, but their sort of hide armor prevents you from getting a good... it cushions them, as you are using it.
Gotcha. And then Rafet's not going to learn from that first hit because the next hit is a 9.
Alright. So you come over, but anticipating your attack, they kind of maneuver to defend themselves as best as they can. And so now they're kind of pairing off 1-on-1 against the two of you. Turn on didn't last a minute, right?
Yeah.
I believe. Unless Andrew says otherwise.
What lasts a minute?
Turn undead?
Yes.
Okay. Alright. Wilma, it is your turn. So, the orcs have kind of paired off, so it's kind of 1v1 now. But then you still have the archers up above.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm not feeling too good.
You can also see the one orc that was fighting Rafet just running down the road.
Interesting.
They're just kind of dragging their stone axe behind them, because they don't want to leave it.
Poor guy. I am going to... how does Rafet look?
Like, getting tired, but she's not bloodied yet. She can hold her own for like a turn.
Okay. Then Wilma is going to upcast to the 3rd level Cure Wounds as she kind of just touches where she has been injured, and a soft purple light kind of spreads down over those wounds. And I will get...
One of the orcs says no fair. No.
Dang, I get 19 hit points back.
Sweet.
Which makes me not bloodied anymore. And then, as my bonus action, spiritual weapon, the shadowy battle axe up top is going to... you said that the one it hit before is still alive, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just barely picking himself back up.
No. That is a 16 to hit.
16 definitely hits.
Yeah. And that'll be 10 force damage.
Yeah, there's another, like, billow of snow and he doesn't come back up.
Heck yeah.
All right. So the orcs, you can see the archers up above kind of look over where the spiritual weapon is. And then they also look at their friend who's running down the road. And you get the impression they're not used to their sport being this challenging. So they disappear, running down the other side of the hill that leads up to the cliff. And the orcs that are in front of you say something. You don't understand their language. You assume it might be something like cowards or something like that. But then seeing that they don't have any backup, they decide that they don't want to stick around either. So they're going to disengage and start running. So you guys can do what you want, but they're all seeming to start booking it.
Are we still in initiative order?
Yeah, so it'd be Rafet's turn.
Okay.
If she wants to do anything.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Was reading a thing. I guess all the orcs are retreating, right? Okay.
Yeah.
The one who's like lagging behind, I'm gonna aim a firebolt at them.
Okay. Make that attack roll.
Pew.
Pew pew.
That's a nat 20 plus 6.
Oh my god.
Wait, no, not plus 6. I'm sorry. Actually,
No.
wait.
It's a crit, so
So do I apply same rules to it?
you hit. Yeah, so anything with an attack roll can crit, right? So that's 4d10 fire damage.
Oh,
is what you roll.
gosh. Plus 6.
You might just incinerate this guy.
You would think so.
It depends on how well you
Yeah,
roll.
that's the thing. It's gonna be a total of 9.
Okay. So he's running away and just kind of light his backside on fire. He drops his axe and is trying to like pat it out as he runs.
Wait, you physically can't roll 9 damage. If you roll 4d10 plus 6.
You don't add anything to it.
Oh, who said plus 6?
No, from
to
attack.
to hit. To hit. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was about to...
Yeah, Andrew.
Sorry.
I haven't used an attacking cantrip yet, so...
I want you to know, out of 4 d10s, 3 of them were 1s.
Yeah, no, you have to roll pretty low to get 9.
Hello?
The average is pretty close to 20, I believe.
Yikes.
All right. Is there anything you want to do, Wilma?
Oh, yeah. At one of the orcs, probably thinking that Rafet would bring down the other one, Wilma will hold up her axe, and a bolt of shadow will come flying out, and I'm casting Guiding Bolt at the other orc that is one of the two that's running.
So not the one on fire?
Not the one on fire.
Okay. You did not. You didn't.
Oh, but they did.
I'm waiting for the crit.
My dice tonight.
Finish my work.
My
Oh my god!
goodness.
I'm not even.
This isn't
I'm
the
not
one on
finishing
fire.
it. No. Wilma trusted that you would bring that one down, so she went for the other one.
Yeah, there's gonna be... Brigham, I'm so sorry for my audio tonight.
Alright.
Well, no, that's fine.
Alright, so that is going to be 8d6 radiant damage.
I swear if the total's 9.
No.
I'd have to roll all 1s and 1, 2.
No.
Oh, gosh. Alright,
You said...
5, 6,
Oh, yeah.
7, 8. Alright, luckily I've got enough d6s to roll it all in one go.
That guiding bolt was D8.
No, it's 4d6.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
I can already tell you there are 3 6s here.
Well...
No, let me count. Let me
enough.
count. Let me count. I want to know how over
I want
the
to
top
know
this
how
is.
badly I incinerate this sucker.
34 radiant damage.
My goodness.
Excellent.
It's
Is it just
it's
wreathed in shadows?
It's the incineration beam from like the Mandalorian.
Oh my
Just
god.
shooting Jawas just and you just see the equipment fall out.
Dang. Not everyone has seen The Mandalorian, Brigham.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so
Basically most of them just vanishes. It's he had 11 hit points, okay? He had 11 hit points left.
yeah. And so the other one that's running, unless Refit, actually, yeah, no, that'll be the end of my turn. I am dropping concentration as well on Shield of Faith.
Okay.
Alright. So they run into the woods.
Oh, I thought
hear the
Refit
one-
might use something.
That's the orc's turn.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
They get to
still
do
in
stuff next.
turn
no,
order.
they don't get a turn. No.
Yeah, they get a turn.
No.
They get to do stuff.
Absolutely not.
But yeah, you just hear the one on fire just sort of screaming in the distance
Beautiful.
as they run into the woods. And you are left alone with this cart. You have a couple of orc bodies chilling out. The snow is a lot more red than it used to be. What would you like to do?
Rafet is immediately gonna burst out laughing. And she's gonna rush over to Wilma and, like, pick her up in a big ol' hug. You were excellent!
Oh, well, I made a few mistakes here and there. I left my back open when I went to attack the archers. But thank you. I apologize. I'm not used to fighting with a partner. Most of my work is solo or in a much larger group. You did very well as well. Anyway, and Wilma, like, returns your hug. It's a little awkward. You get the sense that this is not something she's super used to. And she'll kind of, after a bit, kind of push herself away and look Rafet up and down. How are you feeling? Do you have any gashes anywhere?
I assume something's happening on Victoria's end.
Yeah, you'll cut this. Cut. Shrink.
No, don't do that.
Why did I have to start the conversation and immediately be called away? Anyway, Rafet still said what she said.
Did you?
No, I did not hear anything you said.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Wait,
I put so much effort.
no, give me the summary, because we can just cut this part out. And then I just react as if I heard it.
Oh.
No, this is how podcasting works!
No, I don't think so.
Brigham's like all this extra work for editing.
It's just I
I mean,
give
I
up.
can edit it. I can.
Anyways, That's not what I
Anyway,
meant. Anyways.
yeah. So Victoria basically, you'll have to go back and listen to the podcast to hear exactly
Oh
what
my
I said.
goodness,
Um,
you monster. You
but
absolute
Can we have
monster.
bloopers at the end
But-
and we add this part? Because I want to add. I want to re-listen to this too.
Oh God. Um.
My
So
goodness.
Victoria essentially, Wilma returned your hug awkwardly, as if it's not something she's used to, and she said uh, something along the lines of, "Thank you, but I definitely made some mistakes there, like leaving my back open uh, while I attacked the archers." Um, and she's not used to fighting with a partner. She's usually solo or in much larger groups. And she also said, um, "Oh, you did well yourself." And then after a few moments, she kind of pushed herself off, and I ended with her asking Rafet, um, "Do you have any gashes on you?" Um,
Yeah. I don't think I have anything major to fix up, so worry about yourself first. But this is good. I was worried you were all just bundled up in armor for protection. But no. You can do so much.
no, I've been given a fair bit of power by Nibirius, um, my deity. Um, and I use that as best as I can. Um, quite frankly, I use it for situations much like this. Um, of course, again, you yourself did fairly well. Um,
I'd sure hope so.
do you... Here, you do have a gash, and Wilma kind of like will move forward and place her hand on a one of your wounds, and will cast Cure Wounds. So I'm going to give you um, 9 hit points back.
Ooh, that's lovely.
Yeah, while one was doing that, Rafet, you see that sort of dark, wispy figure sort of cross the road further up ahead and sort of follow the direction that the orcs went.
Huh.
It just kind of glides over the surface of the land and disappears into the trees.
Fascinating. I guess we're all after orcs
Well,
these days.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, that big ghosty thing.
The Alip?
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yes, I know a little bit about them.
Well, it's following them, so good for us.
Oh, I suppose so. That's interesting. I didn't think them to be the type to target so specifically, but again, I don't know much about them. But for now, would you mind if we checked out the cart real quick, make sure there are no survivors? I unfortunately imagine that's probably not the case, but never hurts to be thorough.
Oh, I was just about to ask you the same thing. Gotta ransack this thing clean.
Well, it's not usually my style, but I'm also not against it. The dead aren't going to use their items anymore.
Ah. You can take first pick then.
Alright, I suppose so. But I'm also, again, going to be looking for survivors or any hint as to who these people were. Um, would help the families, I'm sure, if we found out who this belonged to, if we could let them know what happened.
Sure, sure.
Anyway, and Wilma will kind of spin around and will still with shield and battle axe in hand, um, kind of cautiously walk up towards the cart, and unless anything happens as she approaches, she'll kind of open up the door to check in.
Yeah, opening the sort of the back canvas, you see a number of bags. Some of them you see sort of fabric spilling out of. Looks like it's sort of coat wool. And you see a pair of halflings that have just been kind of, their corpses have been thrown into the back here. They look like they got shot full of arrows or something. And the orcs just kind of chucked them back here.
Oh, well, this is just sad now.
Well, this is unfortunate that we weren't able to get to them in time, but let us dig through the bags, make sure that there's nothing else here of interest. And Wilma will kind of put her axe down and begin rifling through some of these bags, just kind of looking for anything of special interest.
All right. You can make an investigation check, Raffet, or what are you up to?
I'm gonna pick up the halfling bodies and put them up against the nearest tree for now. And then I'll head back to the cart to also check for stuff.
Yeah, one of them looks like they had their arm like lopped off by an axe or something, so you have to pick up both those parts and kind of put it together.
As many trips as it takes, I do that.
Yeah, that's pretty easy, especially for a strong individual like you.
Yes.
They're halflings, so yeah, they're paperweights. Yeah, so you move them. And you were also checking out the
cart? I rolled a 4. No, sorry, 5.
Oh, there's a lot of twins!
Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of wool back here. You're kind of going through. It looks like they might have been merchants of some kind. Yeah. They might have been headed towards Bainching to sell these like coats and stuff. Because it is the middle of winter. So, but I mean, other than that, you really don't find anything interesting in the cart. You probably would find their food supplies. It looks like they had like 5 days worth of rations left. So you can take that if you want to. It's halfling rations, though.
They're like snacks. it's like one Gushers packet.
No, I couldn't.
Raffet, would you like the packet of trail mix, or would you like the energy bar?
Oh, the trail mix, of course. More variety.
It's 5 rations, so you can. They're not. D&D doesn't discriminate based on.
You want
weight when it comes to rations.
You want the extra, Wilma?
Sure, I'll take it.
All right. You know, it sure is something.
Unfortunately, I think with these two being merchants, we may or may not be able to find any sort of relations. in the city.
Yeah. And Rafet is gonna walk off the cart, and actually examine the bodies now. And what she's specifically looking for is just like little trinkets that she could possibly like, easy stash in her pocket and possibly show people along the way.
So yeah, looking them over. I can roll percentile dice. Don't get to do that very
Ooh,
often.
percentile.
Literally from the trinket table.
Yeah, why not?
Alright. So, I mean, first of all, you'd see that they each have a gold ring on their finger.
Okay. Would I assume it's like a wedding ring or something, or just like...
Yeah, you think it's a
Okay.
wedding band. Um, One of them has sort of a dusty old pipe in their pocket. And the other one has... you kind of go through their pockets real quick and you find a small bottle that looks like it has a dead butterfly just sort of like suspended in it.
Huh, okay.
So it looks kind of pretty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna take the pipe, I'm gonna take the bottle, and then after I put those things away, I'm, as best as I can, I'm gonna start digging holes to bury them in.
So the ground is frozen, so I guess question one is, do you have a shovel?
I don't think so. Nope. It's gonna take a second.
You'd be really struggling, yeah, to make shallow graves.
Rafet, this... we may be better off honoring them in some other way rather than burying them.
Her veiled head is just gonna turn to Wilma, and she's quiet for a second, and she's like, well, you're the Holy One. What do you say we do?
Oh, I'm not as holy as you think. And Wilma will walk forward and pick up the bodies and walk a little ways into the woods. Does the canopy begin to thicken at all?
So the trees are leafless.
Oh, these aren't evergreen trees, I see.
No, yeah, you're not in the right woods for that,
Dang.
unfortunately.
Dang, I just think snow and I think pine trees.
They can't all be
spruce.
pine trees.
Or fir. They're all Christmas
Oh,
trees.
it's always Christmas every time.
All Christmas trees.
It's all Christmas trees. They're special trees that turn into evergreens when it becomes snowy. But during the summer, they have leaves.
Wow.
No, so there's these sort of skeletal trees, and so there's an evergreen here or there, but nothing really substantial.
Wilma will find the base of one of those scattered evergreen trees and kind of prop them up next to each other up against the trunk. And then kind of when she's done that, she will stand up. She'll say a brief word in hopes that they will pass without issue into the next life. And With that, she would begin walking back towards Rafet,
Oh,
and say,
well, Rafet probably followed, actually. Yeah.
good. Then Wilma will turn.
You run into Raphael. Watch where you're going, shorty.
Wilma will turn to Rafet and say, I don't think there's much more we can do for now. We might as well get back on the road and head to the city.
Yeah, you're right. And as after she says that, she immediately goes to the bodies, and she just like leans them a little closer together, and like she's not trying to put like their hands in one another because she doesn't know like how stiff they've become, but she like puts one on top of the other.
They're
Yeah,
pretty
she
stiff.
puts one on top of
Yeah.
the other best she can, and she just quietly says to the bodies, best of luck next time, you two." And then she'll follow Wilma out.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to do before you head down the road?
No.
I don't think so. No.
Okay. So yeah, you walk over one of the orc corpses as you.
I walk on it. Like it is the
Jump on
ground
it.
to me.
Okay. So you trampoline off a orc corpse as you continue down the road. And you continue for a couple more hours before you start seeing the smoke is the thing you see first. Not something burning, but like just like the light smoke trails of chimneys. Sorry, I didn't mean to get you excited.
I
We're gonna have multiple.
I was
combats.
thinking about what if that one orc I set on fire started a forest fire, and then I stopped thinking about it.
Oh boy.
You see to the north of you, the entire forest is just caught ablaze. Yeah. No, it's very. There's a lot of snow, so there's a lot of extinguishing material. You probably ran for a little ways and rolled on the ground and then kept running. So yeah, you see the little smoke trails of chimneys before you see the stockade walls, sort of the the old style forts with the sort of tree trunk lumber walls that surrounds the town of Bainching. And approaching, you see guards on top of the walls, and a couple of them kind of notice you approaching, give you a bit of a wary look, but as you get closer, they you see them seem to start talking to other individuals beneath the wall, and you see the large stockade gate begin to swing open slowly.
I walk through it. I walk inside the city.
Then the whole thing. No.
Gosh.
Yeah, as you go
darn
through the
it.
gate, as you go through the stockade gate, you are greeted on the other side by a guard who's got a spear and is just kind of like holding it in the crook of their arm while rubbing their hands as they try to breathe some life into their poor cold fingers. So, welcome to Bainching. What is your purpose here?
Well, I had heard that there were some orc-related troubles going on around town, and I was hoping I could find some work and help with the problems.
Kind of nods and looks to you, Rafet, to see if maybe you guys just happen to be together.
Yeah, same for me then. Killing orcs and making cash.
Kind of nods between his teeth chattering. Alright, you'll want to talk to Giselle then. She probably would be the best to broker that. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I'll take you there. And it kind of says a couple things to a nearby guard, and they kind of nod to each other, and he starts taking you further into the town.
That would be wonderful, thank you.
He said, no problem. As you go further into the town, probably the most notable landmark that you see is a small tower near town center. Just seems to be made out of simple stone. But it's really the most distinguishable building out of everything else here. And the guard takes you to a nearby building that you assume probably operates as a guardhouse or something. And taking you inside, you see there is a table with a map on it. There are a couple of guards around it, including a gnome woman who is up on a stool so that she can see the map properly. And the guard tells you to wait a moment, goes over to this gnome, says a couple of things, and she comes over to greet you. So she has this sort of stark white hair that's held together in a braid. She's wearing leathers with a cloak around her shoulders to keep her warm. There's a bit of a nasty scar that goes down one side of her face, narrowly missing the eyelid and sort of making her mouth a bit crooked as it clips off the end of her mouth. But she goes over and introduces herself as Watchmaster Gasol Shao.
It's good to meet you. My name is Wilma Braum, and this has been my traveling companion.
How do you do, ma'am? Rafet.
I've been better, I'll be honest. I hear you're here for gold and glory. Is that right?
Sure does sound like it.
Or close enough?
Gold would be nice. I just wish to help get rid of the orcs, primarily.
All right. I'll have to talk to Line about possible compensation, but we could definitely use your help.
What exactly is the situation going on here? I've heard bits and pieces, but I'm not sure I know the full story.
Well, there has been orc activity here prior. It's not like this is a new thing. It's just their concentration's increased. They haven't made any direct attacks against the town, but we have tried to send a couple messengers down road to Tickshai. But, well, the orcs, they've been returning the messengers' horses to us.
Have you heard anything about them preventing general travel in and out? Rafet and I found
You're the first to come in a while. I don't know what the road conditions
Pretty bad.
Rafet and I found a cart with two merchants that had been killed, and we ended up actually engaging with a couple orcs. We managed to fend them off.
More than a couple. Several.
A few. Have there been any undead involved with the issues going on?
She kind of thinks, and her crooked mouth kind of screws up temporarily in thought. No, not particularly that I know of. But I mean, usually this time of year there's not a lot of travel on the roads anyways. People are just hunkered down in their houses.
True.
So I wasn't really expecting anyone. But no, the orcs are substantial enough. They are divided into 2 camps currently. There's one in the woods west of here. And then there's another southeast near the remains of a tower, I'm told.
Do you know the sizes of these camps? Approximately?
They're formidable enough. They definitely rival our defenses here. But we have the advantage of the wall, so they're at least smart enough that they haven't attempted to attack.
And you said there's been orc activity, and they're recently being this much of a problem? Do you have any ideas to why they may suddenly be acting like this?
No, on they're orcs. When there's enough of them, they're aggressive.
I suppose so.
You've been on the frontier before, right? These things kind of happen occasionally.
They do, and sometimes there are reasons. More so than just numbers building up. But you also have a point. I've heard and seen my fair share of things just getting out of hand every so often.
Nothing really goes right here.
You can say that again. Yeah. Well, I'm not allowed to... my hands are kind of tied. I'm not allowed to do any kind of offensive. If I was allowed, I definitely would be attacking, but my job currently is to hold the fort, so to speak. Let me introduce you to Judge Line. He'll be able to sort out if there's any compensation we can give you.
That would be wonderful. And when we say we will help, will that be in defense or offense? You did just mention you can't really run an offense, but I think perhaps that may be what you need. A war of attrition often doesn't go very well.
We certainly don't mind working freelance.
To be honest, you probably wouldn't be paid a whole lot if you stayed in here. She just kind of gestures at the town. So, you'd have to, you'd have to take it up with Line, but most effective would it be out there if you could call whatever you can, or maybe at least figure out. I'm confused on why they're in two spots. Usually they all get together, but maybe they have something planned.
Well...
Come on, I'll introduce you to Line.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, she kind of takes you upstairs in the guardhouse. And up there, she shows you to a sort of heavier set gentleman who's wearing fine clothes with a nice thick fur coat. And when he stands up to greet you, he uses a cane to do so, and you can see kind of a gold-plated topper on the cane. And Watchmaster introduces him as this is Judge Leonardo Line. He is primarily responsible for the town. And she kind of discreetly exits. You kind of get a brief sense that she doesn't really like Line very much. But yeah, Line outstretches a warm hand to greet each of you.
And Wilma would take that hand and say, Judge Line, it is good to meet you. My name is Wilma Braum. I am a follower of Naberius. If you've heard of him.
I am not familiar, I can say. I'm sorry.
Oh, that is fine. He is a good god of the dark, but don't let that make you think he's evil, of course. In fact, he's the one that sent me here to help you deal with this orc problem, so I am happy to help you in any way I can.
An altruistic individual, yes. I enjoy such people. And who are you? He extends his hand to you, Rafet.
Rafet does not take his hand.
This is that awkward. He kind of like, kind of like, you know, like opens and closes his hands a couple times before looking at the back of his hand, kind of like, oh, there's my rings, you know.
Yeah. When he finally retreats it, she'll just say, Rafet, sir.
A pleasure. So, I understand you are here to help. We have been considering for a little while potentially what our offer would be if such individuals would come. I'm still surprised that we have not had any militaristic support yet, but I should expect it soon. Currently, our primary interest is thinning the herd a little bit. There are a number of these dangerous orcs out there, and taking them down as many pegs as possible is to our advantage. They spread out in small groups for various reasons, hunting, setting up ambushes, all the kinds of things that you imagine such individuals would do. But we are willing to pay 5 gold pieces her individually eliminated.
Wilma kind of like glances to the side at Refet.
Refet just says, "Done." And that's when she turns to Wilma.
5 gold pieces would be perfect. Thank you, Judge Line.
He smiles warmly, very pleased with himself over this exchange. Yes, these orcs, as I'm told, tend to carry stone knives on their person. Just bring a stone knife back to the guardhouse, and we'll be sure to accommodate you. Now, I have some other business I need to attend to. Is there anything else I can help you with before I get leaving?
Shall we return to the Watchmaster to figure out where we should go?
Yes, Giselle may be short-tempered, but she is very capable. She definitely can help you in all your dealings.
I'm sure she is. Thank you again very much. I will do my best to help you.
Pleasure was all mine.
Of course. Refet, why don't we head back?
Sure, I think that sounds fine.
Come. And Wilma will kind of like lead Refet back out of the room to go find the Watchmaster.
Yeah, and Giselle Shishao is down back at the map, and it seems like the other guards have kind of left, and she's just kind of studying it on her little stool.
Yeah, Wilma will kind of, as quietly as a fully chainmailed up person can, will kind of like sidle up next to the Watchmaster, which, by the way, if you could give me the spelling of that, that would be very helpful.
Never give the spelling for anything.
And she will kind of look down at the map and say, well, it seems we've been officially hired. We've got pay incoming, and we are ready to...
he was willing to pay you something at all.
Yes, I gathered he's not the most generous person.
She shakes her head.
I didn't really expect pay coming in the first place, so it is of no concern to me. Refet, were you truly alright with 5 gold per orc?
Oh, of course. As long as it's enough for some lager every night, I don't really care.
Well, anyway, Giselle, we are yours to command. How can we be of most help?
Well, not being here, she says.
I see.
I don't mean that. Line has me maintaining my forces around the stockade. I am interested in what they are doing. She kind of points on the map to the southeast, and you see a little notation that says Crumble Gate Tower. I am interested in what they are up to there. As far as my meager intelligence goes, I believe their leader is in the camp to the west. Seems to be coordinating the two groups. So this definitely is of interest, she says, once again, pointing at Crumblegate.
Is Crumblegate to the west, Brigham?
As to the southeast.
To the southeast. Okay. Well,
It's about half a day's out.
that does not sound too terrible. Rafet.
She shrugs. It's fine by me.
Alright, well, we certainly can find out what we can. Is there anything specific that you want us looking for? Figuring out just what is going on in general? See if there are any other higher up orcs that are helping to orchestrate.
Whatever you can get would be much appreciated. I'm working on pretty much nothing.
Wonderful.
Almost makes me miss the days I used to be in the capital.
You used to be in the capital.
Long time ago, yeah. It's been about 20 years.
Oh goodness. It has been a fair amount of time then. What brought you out here?
A chance to get away from the bureaucratic incompetence, but it looks like it came with me.
It never really
It appears
stops.
So has Judge Line been here the whole time you have?
No, he helped found the town as far as I'm aware, so
No.
he's been here a while. But this is the first major incident that has come up, at least that has threatened the town so far as to there might be a major attack.
I see, and he seems insistent that the military will come and assist, which I assume is why he's making you play defensive.
Yes. Which most likely, if they don't hear from us, there will eventually be help of some kind, but I don't know when that will be.
Well, hopefully we won't make you wait so long. I think we can head out as well as soon as we're ready, and I will be honest, I would like to do this reconnaissance at full strength, and Wilma kind of turns around and shows where she's got a few. It looks like she's got a few gashes, and says, "I'd like to spend some time resting, getting myself back up, and I think Rafet may need the same, and first thing in the morning, before the sun comes up, we can head on out, if that is alright with you."
I don't make your schedule. Unless you're talking to your friend, then.
Well, I
I don't make
was
her schedule either.
talking with you, since we are going to be working for you, and if you had any extreme preferences.
Not particularly. To tomorrow will be fine.
Alright, and Rafet, are you alright with going out before sunrise?
She's quiet for a second, but then she's like, yeah, that'd probably be for the best.
Wonderful. Do you have any recommendations for where we can stay while we're in the city?
There's an inn in town, by the name of Twilight's Embrace. You could lodge up there.
I quite like that name.
It's okay. It's a little gaudy, but...
Oh, I'm sure it'll be just fine. Twilight's Embrace. Well, Rafet, I think I'm going to turn in for the day. And I think you perhaps should relax. Did you want to get a room together?
Yeah, that's fine.
Wonderful. We can split the cost then, perhaps.
That's fair.
Thank you, Watchmaster Gasol. We will come back and report whatever we find as soon as we get back.
Alright. Well, come back in one piece. Or at least in a big enough piece that you can tell me stuff.
Have no fear, I've got the the midnight sun on my side, and I also have a rather capable battle buddy. And Wilma kind of nudges Rafet. I think we'll be just fine. Thank you.
Rafet will just do a thing with her fingers and then walk out.
A thing.
That's like the waving goodbye, but with the two fingers.
Just holding up the peace
No,
symbol?
no, your fingers are together.
Little finger dance.
Oh
okay.
my gosh. Rafet takes her two fingers and puts them by her temple and then quickly flicks them up in a sign of goodbye. And it's fine that I'm saying this over Brigham because we're recording on separate tracks.
Well, he's still gonna have to cut that out.
Oh, he's gonna have to cut a lot out. Also, I'm so angry. These past 20 minutes, not 20 minutes. This past 15 minutes, y'all have been cutting in and out for me because everyone's back home. Yeah.
What?
Oh.
Using the network.
I mean,
okay.
I have the gist of
Are you
everything.
done with
It's
your
just
shit?
that if I have awkward timing and pausing, that's why. Like at one point, I did just say something on top of everyone else.
That's fine. Yeah, I noticed that, but you were fine. You were fine. I actually think it was perfect because I think I had just finished what I was saying, and you just immediately cut in after me, which at least you could hear what we were
Pacing
saying.
can also be
Anyway.
fixed in Audacity.
No, never.
Okay. Brigham's like, we're going unedited.
I'm just gonna release it completely raw. Just.
I mean, we can.
I'm not even gonna sync the tracks. They're gonna be all out of order.
Oh.
It'll
You monster. You absolute monster.
See, everything I say is true. Because last podcast I did with Carrie, Carrie and I were on top of each other, so I had to space us out.
You're so cute, Brianna, but I'm in the middle of something.
No. She needs
Yeah,
attention.
I know. You want
She
my
needs it
attention.
now.
Yeah, I know. I love you.
No, you don't.
Yeah. I care about. Okay. Well, that's not true.
If you loved her, you'd give her attention now.
Yeah, I know. I know how dogs work.
And we're back, folks.
What? No, we're not. I'm gonna go give her a treat.
Aww.
Oh, gosh darn it.
Intermission time.
Well, while we're on a brief intermission, what are you thinking? Oh God, yeah. If we get sponsored, then I think we should overall up our production quality.
Well, I can tell you that I want to buy I think it's a Blue Yeti. Just for myself. Ooh, ow. I was gonna buy it.
I have an
I
eyes.
was gonna buy it for just the Sunday Reads podcast, and now that we're doing this, even more reason to get one. Also, I just want
More
want
reason.
one. And then I can give my mic to Carrie, and then I won't have to constantly silent every time she's not speaking.
All right, so you guys can get to Twilight's Embrace. It's a pretty simple inn. It's 5 silver pieces for a room.
Ooh. Wilma will offer to pay the 3 silver.
You're not gonna break it into copper.
That's
We should just switch off every day.
Oh, that also
Yeah.
works. Wilma will offer to pay for tonight.
Okay, cool.
And then meals per day per individual is 3 silver pieces.
Wait a second.
Wonderful.
Food's the same as a room?
It's 2 silver
Meals
cheaper.
for a day
Fair enough.
You get 4 meals
per
a day.
individual is 3 silver pieces. A night's stay in a room is 5
Okay,
silver
that's what I
pieces.
heard.
Wonderful.
Food be expensive.
Really does, huh?
Heck yeah. Get that hearty food. Stew. Would like some stew.
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 Yeah. So is there... Yeah. Was there anything you wanted to do
What time of
in
day?
town?
What time of day is it?
It's like late afternoon, headed towards evening.
Wilma will look at Rafet and say, I don't have anything in particular that I need to get done, and I've always been early to sleep, early to rise, or late to sleep, late to rise, and I think I'm going to hit the hay early tonight. I'm a heavy enough sleeper. Don't worry too much about making noise in the room. Of course, go do whatever you need. But I will make sure that you're awake in the morning. Again, before sunrise.
I trust you'll do that. You have a good night's sleep, Wilma.
I play the trumpet.
And with that, Wilma will start taking off all of her armor. You can see she actually will, as she kind of is now in just her, again, robes that look just really like a heavy nightgown. She's got some kind of areas where she was hit by the orcs earlier, and she touches her wounds and heals them up as she casts a cure wounds or 2 on herself before she gets into her bed, kind of pulls a blanket all the way over her head and kind of tucks it up underneath of her head. And you see she kind of like spins turns on her side and then kind of spins around more until it looks like she's just kind of twisted the blanket and she looks like she has just entirely cocooned herself in the blanket on the bed. And it does not take long for you to hear a very light snoring.
Yeah, Rafet just kind of watched all that, and she just puts her hands on her hips like, wow. Sure wish it was easy for me to go to sleep that easily.
She had her phone out the whole time, just recording.
This will make a good
It's gonna be the
TikTok.
next TikTok.
Like she was just really fascinated with how she was able to spin in place like sideways. It's like, how do you do that? Yeah.
Have you guys never like wrapped yourself in blankets?
I've never
like cocoon
spun
style?
myself into a cocoon.
Yeah, you pull the blanket up over
Just had to be
you.
part spider.
You tuck it around you, and then you like kind of tuck it further, and then like with the blanket kind of like tucked in with you, you twist yourself and almost like rolling in bed.
Never. I've never done that before. I've rolled myself
God,
into a burrito.
I do that when it's
But like on the floor.
Look, I cocoon when it's cold. No. I build a
commune when
protective
it's cold.
shield.
You know? That's totally valid and totally fair. Rafet has just never seen that before, and so she's looking in slight amazement. Very much amusement, though.
It's an impressive feat.
Rafet couldn't do it. She's impressed. Yeah, Rafet's not gonna go to bed that early, so she's gonna walk out of the room.
That's gonna go party.
She's not gonna go party. But she is gonna leave the room. She's gonna close the door. By the way, Rafet is not excessively quiet with anything she does. She never tries to like mask her sound, but she also doesn't try to like be as like loud and clonky as possible. She just walks how she walks. So she walks out of the room, closing the door to keep it, peaceful for Wilma as she's sleeping in her nice little cozy cocoon. And she's gonna, from the base where her wings are on her veil, she's gonna take off her veil and just kind of like shake her head a little bit. And her hair's like really crazy looking. It's very messy.
It's got
Hat hair. Very much hat hair. And she just kind of just scratches the back of her head and then like twines her fingers and like brushes it through the end, but only the once, so it's still a mess. And she heads down because she wants a drink.
Yeah, so you can get food at Twilight's Embrace, but you would be informed that there is actually a tavern in town. I mean, you can get drink from there too, but like if you want to hang out with people and like there's only like the people who live in the inn really at the inn, but if you want to hang out with like the common folk, get down to the
I want to be where the common folk are.
The common folk.
I want to be where the
Exactly.
people are. You could go to the viscous drink.
Yeah, she'll head there. She wants a drink.
Do you want a viscous drink? Though?
Maybe, if it sounds good.
Whole bottle of maple syrup?
Is that what viscous is?
Yep. It's
Viscosity's like the thickness of a liquid, so a viscous liquid would be something thick like a syrup.
She's unopposed. She'll try anything once.
It's great. We got one.
You can mix some syrup into a cup of milk, twirl it around.
But have you ever committed arson?
Not yet, but I've been thinking about it.
Try anything once.
Like, I just need to find the right people, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so going outside of the viscous drink, there's this like big shaggy black dog that's kind of barking.
Aww.
And kind of barks at you as you slip inside.
Wait. Can I stop and try and pet the dog? Okay, I try to pet
Yeah.
the dog.
It's amenable to pets. And then it kind of goes back to barking at the building.
What a good boy. And she walks in.
Yeah, inside there's a little bit of light music. Seems to be a minstrel or a bard of some kind that's got a lute and just sort of
On a
playing
scale of 1 to
lightly.
10, how hot is the
You
bard?
see, why do you do this to me?
It's a very important question.
uh, they're average. It's like 5.
Okay.
Nothing special.
Then I'm more moved by their talent than their beauty.
Definitely, yeah. Especially seeing that they've got a lute that looks like it's missing a string. So
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. But there appears to be townsfolk. There are a pair of barkeepers. You think they might be civilians
Okay.
based on their look, that are serving drink, and so you can dig in and talk to people and do
Okay.
what you like.
I guess I'll do the most casual thing of going up to the bar, finding an empty chair, and waving down one of the bartenders and being like, "What do you got?"
We've got beer mostly. It's the middle of the winter, so
You know what? Completely fair. I'll take 3.
are you expecting company?
No. She looks and sounds really confused at that.
Yeah. Okay. That will be. I'll be silver piece.
For all 3? Alright.
Yeah.
Hand him a silver.
Thank you. I'll get those to you in a second.
Take your time.
Sure. If you say so. How long would you like me to take?
Oh, you're so funny. And she'll just kind
I
of
am?
turn around and keep watching the bard and also the room.
Yeah. Yeah, you hear him kind of mutter something kind of confusedly to his sister, who's also helping, and she kind of says something back.
They're just like,
Um,
we don't know how to deal with someone like this.
we don't know how to deal with these chill people. But yeah, it looks like just sort of common town folk coming in and out. Are you trying to like listen into conversations or anything?
Yeah, I'll
like
do that for like the first 10 minutes I'm there. So what do I hear?
Okay.
Would you like me to roll anything?
Sure, you can make an investigation check.
Okay. That'll be an 8. But my passive investigation is 13.
So yeah, there is a lot of talk of the orcs. Even people who seem to be trying to avoid the conversation of the subtle besiegement of the town, kind of inevitably wrap up into it. There's people like playing cards and things like that, and kind of listening in. You hear some people talking about sort of rumors on why the orcs are interested in Crumblegate. You kind of get the sense that the town doesn't really know too much about the tower, which is interesting.
And why is that interesting?
Just because it's kind of, I mean, it's half a day
Okay.
out, right? It's been there for a while, apparently. Um, and you would have expected that something that they know about, they would have visited at least once.
Okay.
So they would have at least been there. But there appears to be some sort of mystery wrapped around it. And occasionally in conversation, the name Fang Mofa comes up. Seems to be someone who may know more about the tower, but hasn't really shared it with the rest of the town.
Okay.
You would also hear a few minor whispered words about a couple of strange disappearances in town. People wondering where these individuals ran off to.
Gotcha. Also, looking around the room, like, essentially, what's the demographic here?
So it's definitely primarily human. 99%. There is like a gnome and a halfling that are somewhere in the mix, but it is primarily human.
Okay, that's fair.
But it seems they seem to be sort of healthy, average frontier townsfolk.
Okay.
So.
After just kind of listening in for those 10 minutes, who looks like the most interesting person in the room? Save the bard. Save the bard.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, except for the bard.
Yeah, he's busy.
He's busy.
I don't want to bug him.
There is, so the halfling, they seem to have a bit of swagger to them. They're involved in a card game, and they seem to be doing fairly well, which is not, the rest of the table seems to expect this.
I wonder why.
Yeah. You also notice that no one is actually making like a monetary wager with this individual.
Okay.
It's probably the most interesting individual in the room.
At this point, have I gotten at least my first beer? Okay.
Yeah.
I take that, and I'm going to walk to the table where the card game is.
Yeah, they would be a little surprised by you. And probably the halfling would. You want to join in?
I'm sorry, I don't really think I know how to play. But I'll watch if you let me.
Sure, you new to
Very
town.
new. Got here half an hour ago? Maybe an hour.
So what brings you to our neck of the woods, huh?
Oh, what brings everyone here? Killing orcs.
You see a lot of confused faces. You hear one guy on the other side I'm just out to the farm.
I'm disrupting your normal lives.
Not much of us are really into the whole fighting the orc thing. I mean, we do what we have to, but I'd rather they just leave us alone.
Well, at this point, seems like they'll only leave you alone if you kill them. And, don't worry, my friend and I, we don't mind being the heavy lifters around here.
Sorry, my dog's chewing the bed frame.
You're fine.
Just that.
Like a good girl.
No,
Nah,
this
she's
is a
the
bad
goodest girl.
Chewing on the
said
bed
it.
frame again. There's not going to be anything
Your
left.
bed's just gonna be gone.
Yeah, it's just going to be on the floor. He shuffles his cards and, well, you can have at it. I'm happy to see them gone.
Sure.
Is there a particular reason you don't like these? I mean, the orcs ain't pretty to look at, but a particular reason you have beef with
No,
them?
I don't have a beef with them.
Oh, okay then. Yeah. You just want to watch the card game?
Yeah.
It's not too exciting. These people don't know how to spice things up. Because no one will wager anything. And you kind of hear some mumbles around the table. But, anyways. Yeah, feel free to stick around. I mean, we're pretty quiet, peaceful people here. It's not like anything out of the ordinary.
So what is this town like when orcs aren't running amok?
I mean, right now, it's pretty much the same as that, except for the guards are on high alert. I mean, we don't really leave the stockade in the winter.
So this is just purely agricultural?
Primarily.
Okay.
We do have some syrup tapping in a couple areas. But we haven't been out to visit those because last couple guys who didn't come back. So, no, we're pretty simple here. There's nothing extravagant. I mean, I don't know why, say, Fang is here, but most of everyone here is just trying to have a quiet, simple life.
Yeah. That certainly is the goal. But so, who's this Fang? It's a cool name.
Fang Mofa, he's a magicker type. He lives in that tower.
Uh-huh.
Not entirely certain why he moved out here, but he's a bit of a loner. Don't hang out with the rest of us. Kind of nudges the guy next to him when there's a little bit of a, kind of murmur around the table. He doesn't like hanging with the boys.
Not the boys.
Not the boys. But he, as far as I'm aware, he comes from better money than the rest of us, so I'm not sure what he's doing kicking around here. Mostly keeps to himself. He's a little bit of a creepazoid.
The wealthy ones usually are.
You could say that again. There's a bit of agreement around the table.
Yeah. Since Refet doesn't know what they're playing and she can't really pay attention to it, she still watches. But she's gonna take out the little butterfly in a bottle thing to look at that, since the card game doesn't have her full attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of twine that keeps it in the middle of the bottle. Just kind of looks like a little art project. Alright. Is there anything else you want to do with your evening?
I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna finish my beers with the boys.
Ooh. Yeah, so as the night kind of wears on and it gets darker, eventually everyone starts to turn in, one by one. And you kind of enjoy the evening in this quiet, peaceful little town. And I think that's where we're going to stop this session.
Okay.
To be honest. Seems like a good point, and I do not have Crumble Gate prepared enough to run it.
Absolutely fair.
Thank you all for listening.
Thank you.
But now for a word from our sponsors.
Need help building a website?
Raid
No!
Raid
Squarespace! Do you need help building a website?
NordVPN.
No.
Cookie Run Kingdom!
Surfshark.
I don't know if they're doing ads for that.
Oh,
I guess I've seen
they
some.
exist.
I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of ads.
Have you heard of this totally
Hey, Brianna.
fun game?
It's usually the gingerbread or whatever that's like.
Anyway, I'm gonna stop recording.
Oh yeah, are we good to stop? Okay.
Yeah.
Uh...
How do I stop?